Hey everyone, Temporal here, and
True
for this
self
session
is
we
without
are
form.
reviewing a gold
Another.
Zenyatta. If you guys are
La
enjoying the
duvet from
content,
the
please
plan.
do drop a
Victory will
like,
be
consider
ours.
subscribing if you haven't already done
Ready for
so, and
battle.
if you're
If
looking to
only
get coaching
an
yourself,
omnic
feel free
could
to
learn to live in
join the
peace
Discord and
here.
see what my rates look like. My rates very likely will be going up in the new year though, so if you want to lock in those rates now, get some sessions, that's a good idea.
Defend objective A. Your support.
Okay.
They have been revived. Teleporter online.
In the
Okay, so here we are. You've got the Harmony Orb out. You've sent that out to your Zarya, sure. We probably would have put that on Reinhardt just anticipating the damage there. It's not like Reinhardt is an amazing, generally speaking, target for you. Like, it's okay because you expect him to preemptively take damage, and therefore you can go with it for in a similar instance of Winston. Your preference in this map would usually be probably to get it on a Hanzo that's playing aggressive, that's playing a bit more for angles and independently, but your Hanzo is pretty passive back here right now. So for now, on your Reinhardt, perfectly fine. On your Zarya, we'll take it as a secondary choice. Good, we cycle. Getting some spam value in there, using your Zarya as a body shield. You kind of walked into that one and you knew it. You're doing this, and I'm okay with it. And you're just sort of chilling. Like, I look at this, and you went, hey, I broke the shield, and I'm good with that. And now you've either got to tuck and go into a right click, or probably hit a reload. Like, you look at this, you've got 2 shots left. Now you can shoot if you want. They're gone. Okay, so you're taking your shot. I think you've lost track of your ammo. I think that's what's happened here. I also would go, hey, we wanted to actually make our rotation while we'd force them back. So you see this, you've done what you wanted to, you broke their shield, it is very likely that they're going to back off for a moment now that you just broke their shield. Fine, dodge that nade. You don't get a great chance. We'll deal. We'll deal. We could probably kept that a little more honest with a right-click charge, but you wanted to rotate while that shield was broken, while your Zarya was rotating. Sure.
repetition is the path to mastery.
Okay. Charge your right-click, That's too late. Look, here you are. I already know the situation. I'm already charging. Because sure enough, you get to here, and this is about where I expect to want to release a right-click, and you're only at 2 warps.
There is chaos.
You wanted to
within
start
you.
that charge earlier. I don't necessarily want to walk at this Lucio. I'm not really worried if this Lucio boops me. You're like actively challenging this Lucio to a duel, where I was perfectly happy to kite towards my Ana as I fought the Lucio, because that put us in a situation where, hey, even if they come in and boop you, even if you start to lose the fight, you've got your Ana to help you out, as opposed to, no, I'm actively going to go duel you. Why? I don't need to actively go duel Lucio. Like, it's not even efficient. I'll do it because, hey, I don't want him to take me out, but I'm not going to be like, I gotta go get you right now. He's pretty late on your priority list. Celeste go McDonough. Okay.
Chaos begets
Why are you on point?
chaos.
Why have you
begets
walked into
more
point?
Chaos.
Like, what? You could charge up another right click and, like, I actually liked your ability to threaten through here better. Why are we going onto point? And you go deeper onto point? Not my favorite. So here you are. You go into a right click here, and you can charge for a moment. You take that out, which is great.
Chaos begets
I don't have a huge
more
need to
chaos.
go over here. And even if I did, I wouldn't go out into the open here for it. I'd go back and fight that Lucio. I don't want to be pincered between the pharmacy and the Lucio. Yeah, whatever. About Healing Orb, I have trained habit of always orbing tanks because IOSTEX wanted me to do that, but I'm working on most active target. Yep, you want to orb to enable aggression. If it's your tank, so be it. If your tank is being aggressive, but you want to orb to enable aggression, and generally speaking, what you're looking at, and I get it, you're not telling me to tell you this, but, you know, for you and everyone else, what you're looking to do is you do realize that your Harmony Orb is worth a greater percentage of health per second to the squishier 200 HP heroes than to the big tanky heroes, that sort of thing. Like 30 health per second isn't super meaningful to Zarya, to Reinhardt, is pretty darn meaningful to Hanzo, to Symmetra, that sort of thing. But that's okay. That's okay. That does not mean that you never tank, that you never orb tanks. Okay. So, spamming. Good orb. Listen for it, check right. Yeah, you missed it.
You look tired.
So, this is something that you want to address. We're here. You're going for the right click, I'm fine with that.
Darkness falls.
You missed the early Discord opportunity, you get one there. You can hear Hog steps to the right.
Oh,
And these are places that people walk out of. Now, it turns out he's walking out back here, and your Ana got him, and that's good, but I don't think we're even aware that he's back there. Maybe you are, because you're not rotating. Yeah, I'm just not going to comment on that, because, yeah. How much higher will the rates be? 10% higher or more? I haven't decided yet. I mean, inflation is happening. I'm going to do some price adjustment as a result of, you know, that's what makes sense to do. But ultimately, you know, I'm probably not going to raise at exactly that same rate because ultimately different things are able to raise rates at different amounts, and you know, we'll see. I'm afraid I don't have the answer for you. I'm not going to be like doubling prices or increasing them by like 50% or anything, but I can't tell you whether it'll be you know, 10% or 15% or 8%. I couldn't tell you. But you have quite a few sessions at the bank, Val. I don't think you need to be super worried. And people who have already purchased sessions, obviously they've already purchased those sessions at the rate, and that's fine. We're not gonna, you know, be like, oh no, your session doesn't start until later. No. You've already purchased the session at the previous rate. Okay, so you're back here, you cycle back. I probably would not spend time on that trap when I know things are happening back here. Like, you go like this, there's problems. You're like this, and you go, oh, let me go deal with this trap. Don't step on the trap, but you avoid stepping on the trap. And now instead of cycling back here to get to a place where you can help your Reinhardt and things like that, you decide to break the trap. Maybe if your Ana was right behind you and you thought they were a fool, maybe that would make sense. But, like, I want to help over here. I want to get over here where I can be helping my Zarya, where I can be eliminating this Hog, where I can be helping my Reinhardt. I don't want to wait in here to break the trap. There's active things going on to your right. I'm more expensive to Coral. There you go. I mean, it's not the first time I've raised prices, blah. There's always some, you know, finding of what the market will bear.
The cycle begins
Okay, so Junkrats are not your friend. You can't keep going forward into that. Like, you have to figure out how to deal with Junkrats. So here's the thing. That's 1 nade. That's 2 nade. That's 3 nade. That's 4 nade. Okay, these hurt. These hurt. They do. They really do. It's not great. You're walking out into spam. It's the last nade, by the way. It's the last nade plus the Sigmar that's going to take you out. Okay, so we're looking at this and we want to be like, hey, how do I deal with this? What do I do? If this is getting spammed too hard, what do I do? Well, every single map has multiple exits, and you know every single map has multiple exits. So I guess I'll come out over here and go snipe them from here. Like, I'm not gonna walk into Junkrat spam. You can't make me. I'm gonna let my team push them back a little bit. I'm gonna maybe peek for a moment to throw a 5 orb. Like, if you want to go like this. I don't love that. You've taken 2 orbs. You've taken 2 orbs. This 5 orb is dead. You kick, you drop this 5 orb, and you wait until you have health again. You're Zen, your health will restore. And you know what? While I'm waiting to get health again, I might as well rotate to high ground. Even if you do want to throw this 5 orb, you throw this 5 orb like this, and then you go back left and wait for your health to restore. You do not push forward into this spam. You don't do this. You don't get to do this. You just saw 2 people on your team got eliminated. Your team doesn't have space for you to push forward when you're missing health right now. But yes, orbing squishies is incredibly efficient. Even when they're full health, I will frequently want someone to orb an aggressive squishy over a tank that's at half health. Enabling your squishies to play even more aggressive is amazing. And they get a lot more out of 30 health per second than tanks do. Okay. Sure. So, here you are. You decide that you're going to play with the pharmacy a bit. You drop that. I'm good with the Harmony Orb over there. I don't really feel a huge need to drop right now, but okay. I don't really feel a need to drop. Oh, almost.
Experience tranquility.
Sure. Why is that not instantly discorded? Why is that Roadhog not instantly discorded? Are you going to charge up a right click? You're trying to rotate on a hog without a right click charged? What are you doing? What are you doing? Like, I get that you're trying to get your discord off, but you can throw a 4 orb, a 5 orb right click, and then immediately discord. Like, I am scared by what I am seeing here. Okay. You don't need to be this close into the fight in the first place. I know you're here because of the Transcendence, but you don't know what you're doing. Okay. Okay. So we're going to keep you a little bit further back. We're going to peek with 5 orbs for damage, especially when your team is falling behind like this. That's okay. That's okay. We can keep our high ground. That's similar to staying a little bit further back. That's all good. You do not need to be the first. What are you doing? What are you doing? 5 orb, 5 orb, 5 orb. What? Why are you rotating up to open what is clearly an angle here without orbs charged? Positioning not found. Clearly. Like, you're walking up into this. You're about to open a sightline. You're about to open a sightline behind your soldier, which is a little scary because now there's potentially already fire coming his way. They'll start shooting at him and you can walk into it. But my real concern here is you're opening a sightline without orbs charged. Why? Why would we do this? Like, we had the time that we were rotating available to us from, we start charging our 5 orbs, say here, maybe we have to delay an extra moment, and then we peek, we give ourselves just an instant to find something and we throw it, or we cancel it with a kick, whatever. Okay. You can discord him and immediately start orbing. That is his stomach. Okay. You're gonna get fluxed. Discord him and take him out. You only play at this point. No. Harmony Orb's not out. Better. Sure. Okay. You're done. You're done. Back into spawn. Back into spawn. Back into spawn. Back into spawn.
My ultimate is ready. Proceed without fear.
Okay, so opening yourself up when your team is getting stuck like this, when your team is getting spawn camped like this, is going to require you to effectively go fishing for some of these 5-orb eliminations. You really only need 1 or 2 eliminations, and you have a good kit to go fishing for pickoffs with your charged right click. So we want to do that. We don't want to be foolish about how we do that, but we can open these angles with charged right clicks, look for something, and then leave. Sure, but why are you aiming at the stomach? Whose head appears at that height? Are you shooting at a Torb? Are you shooting at a Lucio on the ground? What character's head hitbox appears at that height? Okay, you moved it up a little, but then no, you moved it back down. You moved your crosshair back down. What are you shooting him in the crotch for? Like, no, that's not where enemies' head hitboxes are. You can hit him in the stomach. You gotta go for the aspirational hits in the head. You got it. Because again, what you need right now isn't damage. You actually need pickoffs. And because you actually need pickoffs, you're gonna need some headshots. And when we're throwing 5 orbs, we're looking for pickoffs, not damage. We really are. If we're looking for damage, we're spamming left clicks.
Experience tranquility.
You've just used this. Like, you're down 2 people. I don't love it. I don't love you investing trance here. But you hear another ult, and you guys did just use Shatter, and you think there may be a follow-up. I'd have said hold it. I really would have, but I can understand it. The problem is, like, you're thinking, oh no, like, I don't want to spend Trance Dance or Whole Hog. Transcendence is a way better ult than Whole Hog, and we're already down 2 people. So it doesn't really make sense to Transcendence. That's not really going to work. Transcendence could make sense in a stance of, hey, I really need this Shatter to get value, and I'm not willing to let my Reinhardt Shatter effectively get canceled. I want us to get eliminations during this, and that would be worth. But the problem is Whole Hog is happening, and if Whole Hog is happening, even if you protect your Reinhardt with Transcendence from it, your Reinhardt's still not going to be able to follow up on his Shatter while he's getting Whole Hogged. So net just not worth it, and the Shatter is a sunk cost, and you just have to live with that. It sucks, but you got it. You can't be spending Transcendence Dance or Whole Hog here, and you've really done that twice now. It's mostly too good to do that. Like, you're talking about one of the best ultimates in the game versus probably one of the bottom 3 worst ultimates in the game. Yeah. Red team really need anti-tilt mechanics right now. A couple pickoffs could get them going. Like a couple pickoffs with Zen volleys that hit people in the head, not the nether regions, could be pretty good for them. So here you are. You see that. Now it's too late. I don't know why you're charging a right click. Hog's already on your screen. I also don't know why you're opening this angle while charging the right click. If I'm stuck charging a right click, I am dancing with this pull. I am dancing with this pull. Yeah, go where you want with that joke until this hook is out and I know I'm safe, or until I have enough orbs to peek it and throw that. Because I do not, now that I'm stuck in this, I'm gonna go ahead and save up to 4 orbs at this point rather than send out a bad one, and I'm gonna use that pull as cover. And that is also not where his head is.
In your soul.
Okay, like, their heads are in consistent spots. So that's 1 hit shot. That's an okay place to aim. I can live with that. Cool. And then why is your aim now drifting down? Okay, better, except that now that you've gone stairs, your aim has to go up a little bit. As you move down the stairs, just like as you move left, if you're trying to, let's say I'm trying to aim at that down arrow. As I move left, I have to move my mouse to the right. As I move right, I have to move my mouse to the left. Well, as I go up, I have to move my mouse down, and as I go down, I have to move my mouse up. I can't really do that effectively, but you have to be able to do that. And you are going downstairs right now, so your crosshair has to go up to be aiming at the right place. Now you're aiming at their feet. You didn't adjust up.
Assistance would be appreciated.
That's still like his waistline to his stomach. Okay.
Justice is defined by the hand that cleanses.
Anna may have done it. Anna may have gotten you guys out of here. You just don't throw. Nope. No dice. So I don't love this. I don't love that you guys are letting yourself get stuffed in here, this sort of thing. Again, every exit has 2 entrances. This is one of the better places to spawn camp in the game, but there are still 2 entrances, and what can you find from here? Can you go, oh, I can hit people in the head? Can you go, oh, I can hit their backline? What can you do from here? Like, these things exist. It shouldn't have to be on you you've been here the whole time. It shouldn't have to be on you to rotate over here and go do this, but this is solo queue ladder as far as I'm aware, and like, sometimes you have to go do the thing that someone else on your team should do. I might do some renaming of my coaching packages, Val, but I don't have a plan for new packages to come out currently now. Like one that includes wallpaper, still using my mute chat one. That's great. That's great. Okay, there's a hog behind you. This is scary rotation. This is scary rotation. Okay. You need to hear that hog. You are completely oblivious to that hog, and it terrifies me. Hog footsteps are something you have to just recognize. That's on the list of things you have to just recognize, because he will just delete you when he frequently is on, off angles. That's what he does. He goes in tunnels, finds off angles, goes and takes flank routes, and hooks people. So you gotta hear those. Again.
Experience tranquility.
You heard him, and your solution was to trans. Okay.
We won.
You didn't get the Discord on him? Really? You're able to throw 1 orb, 2 orb, but not move the Discord? That's odd. Discord orb movement should be faster than that. You almost never want to leave your Discord orb on something that you're not fighting. Like, if you have nothing else to Discord, that's fine, but you almost never want to be like, oh, I'm keeping my Discord orb on their Pharah while I'm fighting their Roadhog. That's almost never going to be the case. Or I'm going to defend myself against Tracer, but I'm going to leave the Discord on their Reinhardt, who my team is fighting. That's almost never going to be this case. Yes, your Discord orb helps your whole team, but you do have to use it yourself to win duels. It is something you need to protect yourself. If you're shooting at it, it's usually going to get your Discord.
30 seconds remaining.
Those aren't efficient. When you throw a 2 orb like that, you still get these magic hands. You see these magic hands here? These magic hands of, I threw my orbs! Magic hands. This is just dead time. And it's okay that there's dead time here. 5 orbs have dead time too. But you get less dead time for the value that you get if you charge up 4 or 5 orbs than if you charge up 2 orbs, 1 orbs, 3 orbs like this. So what you want to do is you want to go, if you don't expect to throw 4 or 5 orbs, you want to have been left clicking this whole time. And that's what you should have done here. Like, we look at this. You throw that Harmony Orb. Oh, you want to right click? That's fine. Wait with the angle closed. Why are you opening the angle? You've only got 2 orbs. This angle shouldn't be open. You don't need to open this angle until you have 4 orbs.
30 seconds remaining.
What are you doing? You don't need this much time to aim. No, and then you're going to use that much time to aim, then you're going to go ahead and go, hey, I'm going to shoot at your waistline, and you're going to shoot with only 3 orbs? Like, no, keep the angle closed until you have at least 4 orbs. You can aim while you have 4 orbs. If you throw a 4 orb, it's not the end of the world. If you throw a 5 orb, well, you had the time you went from 4 to 5 orbs to aim. You don't need this much time to aim. And you shouldn't be throwing off the 2 orbs like that in general. In general.
We need to move the payload.
If you wanted to throw 2 orbs, you should have just opened the angle and gone pow pow with your left clicks. I'm afraid of doing that with heroes I'm not comfortable at. My comfy picks are Bap, Brig, Mercy, Moira, to some degree Anna. I don't play her anymore, but was hardcore 1 Wreck Pony for a long time. Okay. I mean, making a play. I'm afraid of doing that with heroes I'm not comfortable at. Making a play with heroes you're not comfortable with. What play did I... Oh, going over here to make a play earlier when I was talking about you going over here. I mean, he's a very good hero for that, though. He can do it very safely. He can charge up his 5 orbs, peek, throw them, and then go like that. Like, it's very comfy to do that sort of thing on him. Yeah, you can get yourself in a little trouble if you get aggressive, like, hey, let me get behind you type thing. That's not what I'm recommending, but he's pretty good for breaking stalemates. He's one of the heroes on your team who actually has the most power for breaking stalemates. Not the single most anymore. You guys actually have a pretty good team for breaking stalemates now. Hog can get picks. You can get picks. Maywall can be effective. Cassidy can be effective. You guys have a decent team for breaking stalemates right now, but you're generally pretty good at breaking stalemates.
You are your own worst enemy.
Okay.
10 seconds remaining.
Good.
Overtime.
I'm going to be honest, I'm pressing W and charging a right click right now. Why are you not already charging a right click? I don't even like that you looked and checked and went on the cart. I wanted to go fish for more because I'm pretty greedy right now and I want to get more and we kind of need those staggers or at least the forward firing platform. Okay. You find an opportunity, sure.
There is
Again, we aren't going to do that. So this is fine. This is good. That's not how I'd have aimed them. I'd have dragged them a little more to the right, like you're here and you effectively drag them a little, but that's okay. Not a big deal. You don't have to drag them to the right here. But what I do want to see is, oh, you're going into another right-click charge? That's fine. Why are you then shooting this? Why are you shooting this? This is a 2-warp. Don't bother. Seriously. Even if there's an enemy on your screen, you should, if you think there was going to be an enemy on your screen, you shouldn't have charged in the first place. And if you start charging, there's very little point in opening this angle until you've charged up at least 4 orbs. That's how it works. I don't want to have the angle open while I'm charging orbs, and if I don't want the angle open while I'm charging orbs, I don't want to fire this. Now, are you now in a situation where you've already made the mistake, and because you've already made the mistake, you can send out this orb and then go into left clicks? Yes, that is your correct play from here, but you shouldn't have been doing this in the first place. You have made a mistake if you end up in a situation where you feel the need to send out a 2 orb, a 1 orb, a 3 orb charge like that. So what was our mistake here? Well, here we are. We send out a 5 orb. Cool. And you start charging again, which I guess I'm okay with because you didn't see anything. But you don't need to reopen this if you're charging a 5 orb. Keep the angle closed. Legit, keep the angle closed if you're charging orbs. There's no reason to be... I don't need to stare ahead and see what's out there. I can peek when I have 4 orbs charged, and that'll be plenty of time to find my target. This you can't eliminate her with this. That's 2 orbs.
There is disquiet in your soul.
You hear Hog. You're pretty far from Transcendence still. Cool. Good. This is right. And you hear that to your left. Sure. I wouldn't go into a right-click charge here. It is entirely too likely that enemies are going to be in front of you. Like, what you're doing here is you're going like this. You're moving your orb around, sure. If you're going to start charging a right-click, you do it right here, but I wouldn't charge a right-click. I'd left-click because this battle is happening, and I think there's enough distractions that I can be in this battle without too much happening. So I'm just going to open my angle and look for opportunities to discord and left-click. That's what I'm going to do. Instead... yeah, sure, there's an enemy. Let's start shooting at it. Let's discord and start shooting at it. Great. What is this? Why are you going into a right click? You lose time when you go into a right click. You put out less total damage with right clicks than you do with left clicks. You can left click more quickly than you charge orbs, and you don't have the magic hands at the end when you left click. So like you do more total damage by a pretty significant amount. It's like 40% or something. Don't quote me on that number, but it's a pretty significant amount in terms of damage per second from left click spam as opposed to from right clicks. Right clicks are great for pick-off attempts, but when you're in a battle, which you are right now, and you don't need the defensive advantage of charging up a right click behind cover, we want to put out that pressure. So again, those left clicks are what we want right now. There was no reason to believe that there would be no enemies on your screen long enough for you to charge up before orb. And you certainly didn't create a situation where there wouldn't be enemies on your screen by using cover. Zen is the worst hero you play. Expert Lucio. Lucio's another level. Okay. Except Lucio. Got it. I read Expert Lucio for a second there, and I'm like, wait, didn't we just do a... okay. No. Okay. This wasn't really a great place to work yourself into. Like, you did this. And you went, I gotta get around this. Aha, and I guess that's sort of your justification. But again, this is a 2-orb. This isn't very good. This is a 2-orb, and you've worked yourself into this spot to do this, and you do know that that Pharah is still around back there. This isn't a great place for you to be. It's really not. I had very little concern, and I can very quickly break this shield. I didn't need to go here to this spot. I don't particularly like that. That said, let's immediately discord and try to move away from cover. Yeah. Again, you're getting very aggressive with your positioning. And again, I don't mind getting a little aggressive. Like, if you had gone over here earlier, it wouldn't be right. It would be you trying to carry a little bit. It wouldn't be totally right. But it would have been fine with me because, hey, you've still got cover, walls, corners that you can play with. You go up here and like, okay, yeah, you've got cover against this, but you knew that there was a Pharah over there. So you being here is like, you're stuck, and it's purely into an aim battle, whether you fight each other or not, whether you win or not. And it's even worse because you're in a corner with lots of things to go explodey on you. So like, don't force yourself into aim battles like this. Zen doesn't want a fair fight aim battle. Zen wants to take advantage of the fact that, hey, if it becomes a duel and if it starts to not go my way, I can hide behind cover, take advantage of the fact that my shields recharge. Even if I don't actually recharge my shields at all, the fact that they do recharge puts pressure on the enemy to try to force the fight or to run, which are both good for you, as does the fact that you can delay power. You might do less total DPS with your charged volleys, but you can charge portions of a volley while behind cover, and again, that puts more pressure on the opponent. You're doing none of that pressure when you're here versus this, so it's just a raw aim battle, and your kit lets you put pressure on them in other ways, and you're missing it.
Yeah, time to heal up.
Helden sterben nicht.
A temporary setback.
Fire in the hole!
Freeze! Don't move! Justice
Okay.
reigns from above.
So, We really are going to have to get control of your right clicks versus left clicks. That's a very common Zen issue. That's a Zen issue that you sort of have to iron out forever. I've done things where I've reviewed players like Ultraviolet and talked about their right click versus left click issues. That'll haunt you forever in some ways, but it's low enough hanging fruit for you right now. Like, there's a lot of improvement to be done there. So the basics of what you're going to need to understand is we right click if we are spamming a choke because there's no fight going on, or we need to protect ourselves with cover for some meaningful reason. We also, and when you guys were getting spawn camped, that would have been a great time to right click because you're needing picks, you're needing to protect yourself, that sort of thing. We go into left clicks, not right clicks, when a fight is just going on and we need to just put out damage. And we aren't like missing health or getting spammed particularly hard or something like that, because we do more total damage when we're left clicking, and we can move our Discord and Harmony Orb more freely, which is very important. So with your right click, you're going fishing for picks. Or, hey, I need protection, so I'm actually going to be behind cover while I'm charging it, or I'm rotating behind cover, and I'm charging it so when I arrive, I have that right click to deliver. We don't just charge right clicks in the open. We don't go, hey, I was left clicking, and now I feel like right clicking when I'm in the middle. No, those aren't things we do. That's like the most important thing we're seeing right now. There's some positioning stuff we'd have to talk about. There's some slow discords that we could talk about. There's some transcendence decision making we could talk about in terms of Full Hog isn't a great thing to answer with it. It can be worth. I'm not saying never answer it, but it's not a great thing to answer with it. But the most important right now and what a major focus is going to be this right versus left click understanding. So I'll keep hitting on that, but if it doesn't make sense, definitely let me know, because it's important to get right.
Look up.
And what if I tell you I was told to left click only very close or against shields? To left click only very close or against shields. I mean, left clicking is better for destroying shields than right clicking. I have no idea why if you're not being pressured, you left click because it's higher DPS. It is that simple. Like, yes, I know you've been coached wrong. That sucks. I hope we can fix that, but I hope the way that I'm explaining this makes sense and you understand why it's better. Like, if you're here, and let's say you're here, and your Orissa's over here, and the opponent's right here, you'll throw the right click. Maybe not. Maybe you'll just chance it and throw the right click and then go back behind and charge another one. But, like, you do more DPS with your left click, and you have more ability to move around your Harmony Orb. So you can move it to your Orisa and then hop it over to your Genji and then swap the Discord to the Junkrat that's walking through here when you have your left clicks going as opposed to your right click. You can't move your orbs during that. I'm sorry to hear that, McDonough. Okay. Yeah, that's not really true. So, like, right-clicking every time made more sense in a world where it was burst or perish, and we have had versions of Overwatch that are kind of like that. When we were in a Goats-esque era, right-clicking became a little bit more attractive because you could, in theory, left-click to break shields, sure, but then right-click a little bit more becomes favorable when you're in a place of, hey, healing is so high in this game that if you don't one-shot something, it just survives. When we were going into Goats and coming out of Goats, sustain was so high in this game that it was very hard to take things down unless you burst them down in one shot or near one shot. So maybe that's when that thought process was coming from, but the game has evolved. Sustain is not as high in this game. You can absolutely drain a team's resources without one-shotting them right now. That was much harder to do when Goats was meta, even if Goats wasn't the thing being played. Any chance of a brief caveat on the flanks and playstyle? Would you charge right clicks on flanks, or is the sound not worth it? You charge right clicks on flanks when you are playing for that. But remember, when you're going for a flanks and playstyle, you are still using cover most of the time. You're revealing yourself once you have a right click and you have a charged right click and you throw that and you immediately eliminate someone. From there, you might move into left clicks, or you might charge another right click if no one else turned around. If you eliminated someone with your flank, with your right click, You could then go into charging another one if no one's paying attention. Or, because again, you're still going for another pickoff there. Or if people are paying attention to you, you're throwing your Discord on them, you're charging another right click as you're behind cover, and you have that to throw at them when they get close, or to peek and throw at them again, whatever. If they didn't, if they're still fighting if they weather that right click, now you're probably not going to be able to charge another right click, and you're probably going to have to fight them. If you took them out from behind with a pick and they're aware of you, but they're stuck fighting your front line, great. Now you're going to go into left clicks. Like, hey, the Reinhardt, the Hog know that you're behind them, but they're busy fighting your Reinhardt. Discord and fire away. And they know that you're back there because you took out their BAP with a right click. Sure. Okay. Yeah, it's still generally worth it because when that flanker shows up on you, having that right click available is usually the right thing. That's obviously a little bit scary with Genji, but most heroes, if you run into a Hog, you'd rather have a right click pre-charged. If you run into a Cassie, you'd rather have a right click pre-charged. If you run into a Tracer, you'd rather have a right click pre-charged. Most of those you're going to want that for. But I get what you're saying. You don't want to get Foundering rotates, obviously. That's preferable.
5, 4,
You got it.
2,
Timing,
Water is on
timing
us.
and angles are basically everything in Overwatch. Now, obviously, mechanics help too, but timing and angles are a huge amount of your macro foundation in Overwatch.
beginning mission.
Okay. Yeah. That's not head height. That's not head height, and that's not a 5 orb. Like, again, this hurts. So here we are. Okay, red is your shield color. Fine. Okay, cool. Oh, missed our Discord chance. We only have 1 orb. Could have recognized that. Because we only had 1 orb, we could have gone into a 5 orb charge there and still gotten value, or we could have just reloaded, but left-clicking the single orb isn't worth. Reloading in the open definitely isn't worth. What could we do during a shift? Well, we could charge a right-click during a shift. Now it's a bit late. Okay, you're going to charge this. Nope, you already started charging. Just keep charging. Close your angle, keep charging, and then reopen it when you have 4+ orbs. And now left clicks. I don't know why you looked away. I don't know why your Discord isn't out. I legit don't know why your Discord isn't out. It should go out reflexively. Get your Discord out, and then worry about, is it the right target? Do I need to move it to something else? But if your Discord is back home, is back hanging around Zen's neck or on his arm or wherever it lives, like, your priority is to get it back out, not to make sure it's on the perfect exact target, not to make sure that you hit every single shot with your left clicks. Your priority is to send it away. It may come back to you. It may be, quite the boomerang there that goes, woo, and comes back, but your priority is to get that out and then worry about getting it to the right target. Okay. A little scary, but okay. That's not a good charge. That's a little better of a charge, but the angle's open. There's no reason for you to be out here with your charge right now, as opposed to over here, and then be just now walking over to here so that when you get up to 4 orbs or 5 orbs, you can open it. Sure, left click spam is fine. Nope, he's asleep. You could have done that. You thought about it and it would have been fine. Your team's doing okay right now. You just beat their Bastion. They're thinking about either pushing forward or retreating. They're not thinking about pushing through here right now. You can charge this right click if you want. You can charge this 1 ammo that you have into a 5 orb right click because you're rotating through here and see if you want to go for this. This is much safer than what you did over here that puts you in a terrible position. So I see you're thinking about it, and this would have been fine.
Bask in the shadow of doubt.
Bad right click. I don't want to reopen that right click either. Move the Discord, charge a right click. Just charge the right click. You don't need to pre-discord. I only wanted you to discord as you were moving across here. Charge the right click. Don't need to fight her. Charge the right click. That's fine. Don't. No. You are not pushing without the right click. Okay. You're gonna charge it again. Okay. So it's just aim letting you down. Not a big deal.
Barrier in place.
Sure. Great. You can play from here with your left clicks. Leave.
I am made whole.
Why not? Oh, look, guys. It's a Sigma. It's a Sigma. It's a Sigma. And then, you know, here we are. There's a Sigma. That's still a Sigma. That's still a Sigma. That's still a Sigma. That's still a Sigma. Oh, it's still a Sigma. Does not have a barrier in front of it. The red barrier is our team's barrier. We can discord through that. It's still a Sigma. Still a Sigma. Still a Sigma. Still a Sigma getting beamed by a Symmetra. Still a Sigma. Now there's no longer a Sigma there to discord. Yes, I know I threw a ton of pauses in there, but that was still a long time for our Discord orb to just be chilling back home. Zen is the most powerful Jedi ever. Might be. It doesn't have to, Quackers. It depends on the meta. There's games where your Zen will have the sightline open quite a bit and just heavy spamming left clicks because their team is winning. If their team is winning and the Zen isn't under pressure, the Zen is going to be getting to keep their angles open a lot of the time. And if you're in a Zen ball meta, say your partner DPS is Brig, you're going to walk into fights a fair bit because Brig needs to walk into the fight, and you get more safety by walking into the fight with her than by staying, super far back in cover against another dive team, things like that. So depends on the meta, depends on the game and how it's going. Okay. She's okay. I guess she's missing a little health.
Team up for special attack.
Observe the battle.
I'm not super worried about that. You guys were overwhelmed. You shouldn't have been so overwhelmable, but sometimes mechanics fail us. Like, you guys are back here with a supercharger. You should actually be pretty strong to push, but your Orisa isn't clearing this. You decide that you can't do it. You're purple. They did hit the nade.
Assistance would be appreciated.
You get nothing with that. You should know that there's a fair raining on you right now and could have looked for that, but I get it. You sort of needed your Orisa to push that hog with you. Fair Bastion, what an awful comp. I hear ya.
Pain is an excellent teacher.
Okay. Should you be peeking as fourth orb pops up, or what you say is appropriate for trying to time the peak portion of your rotate? Yeah, so what you're trying to do is you don't have to peek right as the fourth orb pops up, because ideally you're going to end up throwing a 5 orb, and you would like to be able to just aim and fire instantly. So, like, you could even peek after 5 orbs pop up, and the truth is you can hold 5 orbs for a moment. Once you get to 5 orbs, it doesn't just instantly release. But 4 orbs is a good time of, hey, if you peek when 4 orbs are up, you should have enough time to aim and throw a credible shot. That's why I say 4 orbs. And you'll get either a 5 orb, or if you let go a little too early, you'll get a 4 orb, which is still reasonable. So, like, that's why I'm saying it. You don't have to, like, obsess over the timing of, oh, it's just the instant that the 4th orb appeared that I do this, because all that's doing is giving you more time to aim, and you don't need to spend the headspace, the mental space of, let me get the timing of this 4 orb perfectly. The timing of the 5 orb is more important.
Objective lost. Stop the
Okay,
payload.
that's probably too long of a drag. Like, you do this, and I'm going to show you something
Lost.
here.
Stop the payload.
You go there. That's too low. So what you're doing here is you actually want this to be here. It's very similar to Lucio that we've talked about, and then you want to drag it to the left. And you're going to drag to the left, and I like that, but at this distance, no hero is going to go as far left as fastly as you're dragging, as quickly as you're dragging. So here you are, you're sending your orbs. Oh, you didn't even do that. You sent them... Oh no, you did get a little bit of drift there. That's probably too much drift. That was actually hard to see at that speed. Let me see that one more time. The problem is when you unpause from third person back to first, it tends to come undone. We see this. Those are people's feet, and that's too far of a drag. You see how your crosshair started over here, and then basically immediately, even at 0.25 speed, went over here? If someone's walking out, even at this distance, they're not going to get from here to here by the time the second orb hits them. They're going to get from here where this 1 is to like here where this 2 is in that time. This could be where your 5th orb is. I could potentially live with that, but this is too far left for what's your second orb basically. So like you need to work on that, and this is something where you'll get better at it once you've hit a few. Once you've hit a few of those satisfying, someone walks like this and gets hit by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that, you'll be like, oh, that's it, and I need to adjust a little bit for distance. But heroes don't move fast enough to get hit by orb 1 over here and orb 2 over here. That's too far. You need to rewatch this review a few times. I feel really sad right now. I thought my Zen is conceptually okay. I need to work on positioning. Oh, hey, it's okay. Like, you don't need to feel bad about this. Yes, there's going to be issues because there's stuff that's not being done correctly here in terms of right-clicking and such, but you're at the SR that you're at, and you can hit some shots, and that's fine. Remember, I can pick anyone's gameplay apart very, very hard. I've done reviews of players like Awkward, of players like Ultraviolet. Like, I can pick apart their gameplay very, very hard. Of course, I'm going to be able to pick apart your gameplay here in Gold very, very hard. Predicting the M-Speed Lucio. Ah, is that what was going on, Levy? And then is very complex. The distinction between right and left click is very hard. You have a lot of work to do on it, but that's actually a good thing because it means you can rapidly get like 60 to 80% of the improvement that can be had on right clicks. You can probably get pretty easily. That last 20%, that last 15%, that's going to be hard to get. That might be a you're chasing it forever type thing to get 1% better, 1% better, 1% better, but you can get meaningful improvement here without too much work. Is it going to take some habit changing? Yeah, it is, but that's okay. And again, that was just a straight fire. You didn't drag on that. You don't want to open that angle before... You don't want to open those angles with 1 and 2 orbs. Okay, that's the wall. So like there you just aimed at the wall or the pipe, not the... No, it is the wall, not the opening. And here you're opening it, and you're opening it with 3 orbs. It's better, but it's not good enough, and now you have to sit here, and you can't sit here, so you end up firing off a 4 orb, and you end up firing it off at people's hips? People's hip height? That's not going to work for me. No, you cannot reopen this. If you're reopening this, it's to spam left clicks. It is not to throw another orb, because you know that, like, you're now locked in magic hands. Look how long you're locked in magic hands here for before you can fire another shot to get a 1 orb off there. No.
I'm out of here.
Observe the barrier.
Sure.
My barrier is destroyed. Enemy contact. What is that melody? Embrace.
Justice reigns from above.
Sure. Okay. So here you are.
My barrier.
You're doing this. This is reasonable. You're getting to spam this angle. I'd actually pull you back slightly and just say, hey, play from here. Like, you can play from here and rotate back to here pretty reasonably, but let's deal. You're playing from here. You move that Harmony Orb. You're going to move it again to Soldier. Get your Discord.
Experience tranquility.
I need to hear the timing from the sound lines. I paused too much, so it canceled the sound lines.
Observe the barrier. My barrier is destroyed.
Enemy contact.
Okay. Yeah, you do react to it. That's not for the fair, that's for the flux. No problem.
What is that?
Okay, and you need to end this with cover. This is not the place to end this. You could end this Transcendence over here. You could end this Transcendence over here. Your Transcendence did what it was supposed to. It protected your team from flux. You went over and tried to cap someone off. Lost someone up here. That's life. You need to be using the last bit of your Transcendence to get to safety. This is not safety. I don't know why you're going forward with the last bit of this Transcendence when this is not some brawl that your team is winning. You need to stay alive, because if you can stay alive, you can potentially get value.
Embrace.
Why are you in the open?
tranquility.
Why are you in the open?
Sterben nicht.
Over here's fine. Discord out. Sure. This isn't really a great place to be, but this is junk time. Okay. Okay. So, single most important thing, right versus left clicks. You've got a marching tune, right, left, right, left. No. The key here is, again, what you need to do is left clicks are sort of your default mid-fight thing. You're going left click, left click, left click. You'll do more DPS with those. You're able to move your orbs around more freely. Those are good when you're not under pressure and when you're not fishing for pickoffs, as entry pickoffs into fights, things like that. Now, if you're under pressure, totally fine to charge up right clicks, use that cover, hide behind that. It's actually kind of effective for you to be under pressure, because if you're under pressure, people elsewhere aren't under pressure, and you can still get reduced value under pressure, whereas other people have to take greater risks to get their value when they're under pressure. You can peak for very brief moments while keeping that attention on you and do good value for your team. So that's okay with you. You're actually pretty good with it. So charge up those right clicks. When you are using cover, do not open the angle with 1 orb charge, with 2 orbs charged, with 3 orbs charged. You need at least 4 orbs charged before you open the angle. And you should not be going into a right click unless you think you can charge at least 4 orbs before you would want to throw them. That's how that works. That is how that works. Left click is your bread and butter. Right clicks can get used a lot, but right clicks are used when you think you can get at least 4 orbs charged. You can be charging right click when you're fishing at hey, we're defending a choke. I expect enemies to at some point walk through it. You can use right clicks yourself when you're in a situation where, hey, we're pushing forward. I'm eventually going to round this corner. I'm charging right click, and then I peek it with 4 or 5 Zorb charge. That can be fine. But, get your left click spam in here. Don't repeatedly peek this with 1 orbs, with 2 orbs, that sort of thing. And your right clicks need to be higher. So, that's going to be the first thing. This big right left click thing. The second thing that I'm going to give you, I could talk about the aim height for your right clicks. I could talk about your positioning, which I think is what I'm going to talk about. You got to have this cover. This ties really closely to the previous thing, but I'm going to do that. I want you to have your cover. It's okay to be far back. In most situations, you can play Zen relatively far back, and you can have that cover, play it from right clicks. You can go into left clicks. You do just as much damage from far away as you do up close. It might become a little easier for you to aim as you get close, but I don't care. Just aim better from further away. You're using a projectile. It does not have fall-off damage. Have your cover. You should basically always know where your cover is. You should finish your transcendences with cover. Cover lets you use your right clicks correctly. Play tighter to cover, and generally I'd say play a little bit further back. Little bit further back. That depends a little bit on specifically what you're up against, but that is what I would go for there. And then again, aim for the head. You gotta aim up. You gotta bring your crosshair up a little bit. You're too happy for it to get near people's feet, near people's hips, to shoot people in the crotch, to shoot hog in the belly. You gotta bring that up, especially with your right clicks. Your left click should go up too, but especially with your right clicks, which are really aimed at places more than people in a lot of situations. You've got to aim them in places where people's heads can show up. So, like, that's got to happen because, again, the right click mostly is a phishing attempt. It is not a phishing like a hacking attempt, but like a phishing for an elimination attempt, a pickoff attempt. There we go. That's what we're looking to do. So you really do need to line those up in the head. You're not going to get pickoffs hitting people in the chest, in the waist with that. You need to get that practice. These are the 3 things I'd give you. This is where I would put by far the most focus. And I would work on this first. I would want to work on this with like probably a good 10% of your brain power, 10 to 15% of your brain power. Work on this. Try to get this right. It sounds like you used to play Zen more like this. So we're going to have to relearn this habit, unfortunately, which sucks, but it means it's in there somewhere, hopefully, and hopefully you can fall back into it, get it back. If not, it'll take some work, and then you'll still be able to get back to it. If you have questions about this, or if other people have questions, go ahead and throw them up in chat. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do drop a like, consider subscribing, and if you're looking to get coaching yourself, join my Discord in the description below. I will be raising my rates after the new year here. So in the new year, my rates will go up. So if you want to get sessions, even if you don't immediately schedule those sessions, you want to get those now, and then we can go, okay, you have a couple sessions in the bank and that's fine. No, I'm not going to let you order like 50 sessions right now. Probably. I might. But if you want to buy a bundle or even a little more, even 2 bundles or something like that while they're at these rates, that's perfectly fine. No problem, Magdalena. No problem. What else do we have? Temporal adding 2K subs? Yeah, that'll be... Oh, I don't think we actually did we? I didn't suddenly go up that much, did I? No. We'll get there. Thank you for the preemptive grats, though, Banana Split. Can Magdalena hit GM if she fixes those issues? Magdalena can probably hit GM, yeah, but how much are these issues going to be fixed, right? Like, if we get right left like within 10% of perfect and we get cover upgraded and we hit more headshots, yeah, that you could hit GM with that, but I don't expect just working on each of these things once, even if once is for like 40 games and then for 20 games and then for, I don't know, another 20 games. I wouldn't expect this to be enough to get the level of mastery of these things that would get her to GM, no. But could we take the current Zen and really significantly improve these 3 things and get to GM? Yeah, you could. You wouldn't have to do much else. There's other things we could do, certainly, but there's also room to get better in GM, and that's when we'd start talking about things like Transcendence, etc. That said, we could get like to the point where, okay, there's not only 10% improvement left for on right versus left click anymore. Now there's there's 15% left room for improvement on this, but instead we've gone and increased the value of our transcendences by 8%. There's other approaches to get there. I legit think I'll never reach GM. It's too chaotic and can't play more than 2 hours. Yeah, probably not then, and that's life. I mean, it's going to be hard to hit GM without dedicated, consistent practice. Like, that is the reality. The rest of the ladder is getting better too, and as the player base shrinks, maybe that will stop being the case, but as the player base shrinks, it also tends to get harder as more casual players leave faster than harder core players. Okay. I want the Lucio bundle. Okay, blah. Okay. Good luck getting there. Thank you, Banana Split. What does she need to do to hit diamond? I mean, again, like, it's not quite that simple, blah, because there's different ways that she could improve. If she could significantly improve her left, right, and positioning, her left versus right clicks and her positioning, that would easily get her to diamond. But there's other approaches you could get to diamond too. The biggest and easiest thing to improve on though is going to be this left right clicking, and it'll be interesting to see how much of an improvement she can get on this, because it's wrong now and it's meaningfully wrong right now. But again, it's something that's very hard to get perfect. We can do reviews of rank 1 support players and they don't get their left versus right clicking perfect. That said, you can get a lot closer to perfect more easily than you can get how shall I say this? It would be easier for Magdalena to get better it would be easier for Magdalena to get 50 or 60% better at her left versus right click decisions than it would be for, say, Awkward to get 1% better at his left versus right click. So like, okay, well, Magdalena getting all the way to that 1% better than Awkward at left versus right click decisions would be super, super hard, and you wouldn't have to go nearly that far to get to diamond. Anyway, you're sending me in circles. Lucio review is 30 reviews. The Lucio bundle is 30 reviews for $200. Let me think about that for a second. 30 reviews for $200. That's not great. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do 30 Lucio reviews for $200. That's not a good enough rate on my end. That's too much of a bulk discount. What a deal. Message of hope. Okay. And you can only review Lucio. Yeah, that wouldn't make sense to do. Okay, that's going to do it. I will see you guys in the next one. Hope you enjoyed. Talk to you all soon. Thanks.